So, Gaming and Tech section is where we are moving to next. In Gaming and Tech this week, we have YouTube ripping off Apple TV, who in turn also ripped off Amazon Prime in the exact same way. So we're going to get to that. We have a new side-scrolling game from the developers of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge game that looks pretty dope. And Acclaim is doing the Phoenix Rising thing and coming from the ashes, and not exactly the way you might expect, though there is hope for the future. So gear up with some basic nerd merch over at the Nerd Store, link down in the description, and let's get into the gaming section. Gaming and Tech, actually. Welcome once again, nerds, to the Clips channel. This is a smaller portion of a much larger video called The Week in Nerddom that happens over on the main channel. This portion is specifically the gaming and tech portion, where we're going to be talking about brand new things in the world of gaming and tech. So like new computer things. We don't really get too deep into that. I feel like the guys over at Linus and Gamers Nexus and such cover that fairly well. So we'll get the broad strokes there. We'll get in a little bit more deeply in the gaming. That's right, Gaming and Tech. We have follow-up. Technically, because we just kind of our ongoing conversation about YouTube now has another talking point, so that's why it's a follow-up. So they are going to be taking a page out of Apple TV Plus's playbook, who also took the same page out of Amazon Prime's playbook, which is they're going to be launching new, how to phrase this? They're going to be launching new functionality on their platform, which will allow you to subscribe to other streaming platforms through their platform. So if you have Prime, because most of us do, because you like your free shipping or your cheaper shipping or lower amount of whatever actual perks you get from Prime these days, legit, you get the free shipping. I was just making a joke. But if you have Prime, then you already know that if you want to subscribe to, say, Max, but you want to be able to access it through one hub, then you can do that through Prime. That is a possible functionality that they have worked into the Prime platform as well as the Apple TV Plus platform, and now they're working it into YouTube. The one I don't know about Apple TV Plus because I don't have it personally. I've never really used it, anything on Apple, like kind of, you know, Jack Sparrow, that stuff. But I do have Prime. I do actually legitimately have Prime. And the functionality for subscribing to other streamers through Prime kind of sucks, not gonna lie. If you subscribe to it, if you create an account through Prime, the only way you can access that account is through Prime. If you create an account outside of Prime, then you cannot then also connect it to Prime and access it through the one hub. It has to be connected and created all in the same spot. So that's super annoying. I hope YouTube works that part out. But also, like, some of the functionality that you would get if you paid them directly instead of paying them through Amazon doesn't work, isn't there. It's not even that it doesn't work, it's that it doesn't exist if you're, you know, going through a secondary means. So again, I kind of hope that because YouTube is connected to Google, which is one of the biggest companies in the world, like, maybe they can figure it out. Not saying that Amazon isn't also one of the biggest companies in the world, but we know that they really don't care about their streaming side of things. Prime and Twitch, very specifically. So yeah, just hopefully that will be a thing that they figure out for users, because it really sucks on Prime. We do have one other follow-up for this episode. We talked previously, actually, I think we might have even, it might have been a rumor the last time we talked about this, but Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4, as you know, they released Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 a few years ago, which they changed the physics, which really drives me nuts. I used to be able to, when on my PlayStation and on my Dreamcast, I was able to play through the first stage, the warehouse of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1. I was able to do all of the challenges on my first run. The initial run, you can get all the challenges if you're on the original hardware. On the remaster, the one that came out for current gen, or I guess it was last gen, but you can play it on current gen, they changed the physics. So some of that stuff you have to do a second run because they're just isn't enough time because the physics slow you down. It's bothersome. Anyway, rambling. 3 and 4 is actually happening. There is now a release date, July 11th, and they released a trailer, so technically we could have put this in the trailer section, but so yeah, Tony Hawk, July 11th. Moving on. Speaking of trailers, we do have 2 freaking awesome trailers. First one, obviously, we're going Mortal Kombat 1. Madame Bo has dropped a trailer. So Madame Bo is launching. The way that it's been going, Madame Bo is a cameo. She is the gender-swapped version of Boraicho, who is the man who, in the lore of Mortal Kombat, originally trained Liu Kang and Kung Lao. So in this new lore, Madame Bo trained Kung Lao and Raiden, and also the Lin Kuei, so they're expanding her role just a little bit. She will now be a cameo, and she is launching with the T1000. The date is here written down, I know it is, March 18th. The 2 of them will both be available if you have the Chaos Reigns DLC. Otherwise, you're gonna have to wait a week before you can purchase them a la carte, but you will be able to purchase them without having Chaos Reigns. Just have to wait a little bit longer. That's the way they do it for all of them. The really cool thing though is that they're both coming at the same time. With all of the other cameos and DLC characters, they released them separately. So you got a DLC character once, and then a month or 2 later you get a cameo, and then vice versa. It just kind of went back and forth like that. Well, apparently the Madame Bo cameo is meant to surprise, or was not in the original plan, or was not in the revised plan after Chaos Reigns didn't sell the numbers that they wanted it to. But now that Fortnite is happening, you know, they got a little bit of money to spend, and they have the mandate to move into Injustice 3, sorry, stutters happen. They have the mandate moving into Injustice 3, which means they have a little bit of time because they haven't been doing this is rumored anyway, they haven't been doing much development in the vein of Injustice. They've been stuck in the Mortal Kombat stuff because all of the DC stuff has kind of been up in the air, right? So now that James Gunn has specifically sat down with Ed Boon and the producers and executives and such at NetherRealm and said, hey, we want more DC games. You do that really successful Injustice franchise. Let's go there next. So that's changed the plan, which means they've got a little bit more time to fill, not kill, to fill between now and the release of their next game. So we're very likely going to be seeing at least a little bit more DLC than we thought we were getting a couple of months ago, because again, Chaos Reigns sold like poop apparently. So yeah, Mortal Kombat 1 Madame Bo trailer, go check it out. The other trailer that we have this week is for a new game called Absolum, which you're not going to recognize it because it's an original title with an original feel, but it will look very familiar if you're watching the trailer, because these are the same guys that brought us Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, as well as Streets of Fury, or I'm sorry, Streets of Rage, was it? Or where is it? Yeah, Streets of Rage. Streets of Fury, good lord. Streets of Rage 4, words. And they're also the same developer that's working on the new Ninja Gaiden. Man, that's where the rage came from, isn't it? Ragebound. Ninja Gaiden Ragebound that we talked about when the trailer launched for the Game Awards a couple months ago. So yeah, super stoked for something original from these guys. The artwork looks fantastic. Shredder's Revenge plays really, really great. I'm a huge fan of Shredder's Revenge. Something I can sit down and play with a girlfriend, and she digs it too, so yeah, always. This will feature, much like Shredder's Revenge, this will feature a solo option. You can play by yourself. They labeled it as a campaign, but I don't know if it's going to be different if you're playing by yourself versus playing with others. You can play online co-op, and you can also play couch co-op, again, like Shredder's Revenge. So super, super stoked about that. I haven't played Streets Rage 4 yet, though I'm pretty sure all of the same things apply. I am very excited to get it eventually. I just don't have it yet. So there's that. Go check out the trailer. It's pretty awesome. Linked in the description. Let's move on. All right, nerds. So like I said at the beginning of the season, this season we are going to be doing a big push for the merch store. The rest of the month of March, we will be probably just continuing with the basic nerd stuff. I have a couple of new designs that are going to be going in that are not going to be part of the basic line. The basic line is not going anywhere, but if you want to support the channel, that's one of the better ways to do it. Go check out the store linked in the description. It is a spring store, and I haven't set up the proper URL, so it's Generally Nerdy store or anything like that just yet, but it is active and you can purchase stuff from there. So the link's just a little combobulated. Go check it out. Again, linked in the description. You can find all of your nerdy merch needs. We will be getting the Yoda pool design back up. We also are going to be doing a proper redesign on Do You Even Pop Culture, bro? Those will be going up before the end of the season. However, the first special design that's going up is going to be a variation on one of the nerd shirts that are already up there. So go get your basic nerd, and then if you are, you know, a gamer or a music nerd or whatever, then keep your eyes peeled throughout the rest of the season, and there will be something special just for you. So right now, what we got is the basic nerd. It's super cozy, super comfy. Go check it out. Link in the description once again. Let's get back to the news. That puts us into a regular ass news. I almost just said the news piece before the section name. Regular ass news is where we're sitting. We have one piece of news. This section, we don't have any death, well, unless you count Mortal Kombat, but that's a different kind of death. we don't have any, like, there's no passing, there's no one amazing in the field who is no longer with us, sadly. This is the only section, I think, that is not touched by some form of death. So congratulations, gaming and tech, I guess. But we have one piece of regular ass news, and that is Acclaim. So for the old gaming heads, much like myself, you will remember that Acclaim was a developer. Specifically, the reason I remember them very explicitly is because they were the ones who ported Mortal Kombat to home consoles. They also were the same company that did NBA Jam. I think, no, that was Midway. Midway did the NFL one. I can't remember what it was, but it's, yeah. Somebody's gonna tell me in the comments, and I appreciate you when you do. Either way, Acclaim is coming back, but they're not fully coming back as a developer necessarily. They are going to be coming back, or publisher rather. They are, though, going to be coming back to start as a means for other studios to find funding, to do marketing, and for PR purposes. And then long-term goals, according to the executives who have resurrected the Acclaim name, long-term goals is that they're going to bring back some of their original IPs. Again, the big one that everybody is thinking of is NBA Jam. Yeah. That's going to be pretty dope if they can figure out how to do that. But as it stands right now, we don't know what that timeline looks like, and we don't know what games or developers or anything that they're going to be helping with funding yet. We're just going to be keeping our ears to the ground on this one, and then we got to move on. And that puts us into our final section, which is suggestions. Gaming and tech suggestions this week. I'm going with an oldie but a goodie. Mortal Kombat 1. Madame Bo is about to drop. We're about 2 weeks away, March 18th. Come on, meow. So Madame Bo, T1000, both coming out in about 2 weeks. Now is the time to dust off the, you know, get the rust off of the bones and the things, and get your chops back up, because it's about to get nuts. Madame Bo is the first cameo that is going to legitimately give the main character that you've chosen new moves. Like, yes, technically, because there is a cameo there, it is a different move set, but she is going to, if you watch the trailer, there is a new move that is given to the player and not the cameo, the main character, not the cameo character. It's pretty cool. I dig it. I'm super stoked for it. You should be too. Mortal Kombat 1 suggestion for the week. Thank you very much, nerds, for tuning in. If you want to level up your nerdy, geeky, pop culture knowledge, then don't forget to subscribe and do all of the things. Go check out the main channel, Generally Nerdy, for the larger portion. Again, you get all of these sections into one convenient video over on Generally Nerdy. The name of the show is The Week in Nerddom. Thank you for checking out this clip. We will see you next time. Before we go, though, always remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here.